Imagine if a humble bowl of oatmeal and a spoonful of sauerkraut could help you fight off a cold, boost your energy, and even lift your spirits. It might sound too good to be true, but gut health experts and scientists are confirming exactly this. Simple, everyday foods can be a secret weapon for your immune system, energy levels, and mental well-being. In fact, a recent survey found that nearly 40% of Americans say digestive troubles disrupt their daily lives. Our gut, digestive tract, is more powerful than we often realize, and the foods we eat shape it dramatically. Your gut is often called your second brain for a reason. The trillions of bacteria and other microbes in your intestines not only help digest food, but they also educate your immune system and influence your mood. Researchers at Harvard recently showed that gut bacteria feast on certain fats and turn them into signals that help build specialized immune cells in the gut. In other words, what you eat literally helps train your immune defenses. When gut bacteria produce beneficial compounds, like short-chain fatty acids, they reduce inflammation and keep the gut lining strong, which means fewer leaks and less risk of illness. This matters for mood too. About 90% of your serotonin, the feel-good brain chemical, is made in the gut. The gut-brain axis, our biochemical messaging system between gut and brain, means a happy gut often equates to a happier you. Researchers in nutritional psychiatry note that gut health and diet can have profound effects on anxiety and depression. No wonder people report feeling more energized and positive after cleaning up their diet. It's especially important as we age. Studies show that the gut microbiome of older adults often loses diversity and beneficial species, like Faecalibacterium prausnitzii and bifidobacteria, which is linked to weaker immunity and frailty. So for seniors, and really all of us, boosting gut health with good foods can help counter these age-related changes. Think of it as recharging your inner ecosystem. Instead of relying on pills or quick fixes, many experts now agree that dietary patterns, especially whole foods, are key to a healthy gut and strong immune system. Fiber isn't just for keeping you regular, it's like premium fuel for your gut microbes. Plant fibers, in oats, beans, whole grains, fruits and vegetables, travel to the colon mostly intact, where our good bacteria ferment them. In turn, those bacteria grow and produce beneficial byproducts called short-chain fatty acids, SCFAs. SCFAs, like butyrate, acetate, propionate, feed the cells lining the gut, calm inflammation, and even help regulate blood sugar and hunger hormones. Oats, a superb source of soluble fiber, beta-glucans, that forms a gel in your gut. This slows digestion and feeds microbes. In a 2021 trial, people who ate 80 grains of oats daily saw significant rises in health-promoting gut bacteria such as Akkermansia, Mucinifila, Roseburia, and Faecalibacterium prausnitzii. These microbes are linked to lower cholesterol and better metabolic health. In that same study, oats also helped reduce total and bad LDL cholesterol, suggesting a heart health benefit from these fiber feeders. Beans and legumes. Think lentils, chickpeas, kidney beans, peas. These are packed with fiber and resistant starches that reach the gut microbes. Research notes that regularly eating beans fosters the growth of beneficial gut bacteria and boosts production of SCFAs and vitamins. In fact, a diet with lots of pulses, beans and legumes, led to enhanced gut metabolic pathways for amino acids and SCFAs in a mouse model. Practically, that means more nourishment for your gut lining and less room for pathogens to thrive. Whole grains and veggies, whole wheat bread, brown rice, barley, fruits, apples, berries, and vegetables, broccoli, carrots, leafy greens, also deliver prebiotic fiber. Even swapping white bread for whole grain or adding a side salad makes a difference. Fiber-rich veggies help you feel full longer and smooth out energy highs and lows, since they slow sugar absorption. In short, every meal with fiber is an investment in your gut. For example, start your day with a bowl of oatmeal topped with berries. At lunch, add lentils or black beans to a salad or soup. Snack on carrots with hummus or a handful of nuts. These additions feed your friendly microbes and help crowd out any troublemakers. John's story. John, a 58-year-old teacher, used to feel sluggish after lunch and often dealt with bloating. On a gut health hunch, he started eating oatmeal with blueberries for breakfast and added a cup of lentil soup or beans at dinner. Within 2 weeks, John noticed he was much sharper in the afternoon, no more post-lunch crash, and his digestion felt smoother. He even lost a bit of stubborn belly weight. "I always thought fiber would make me more gassy," John laughs, "but it turns out it's my friend." Science backs up John's experience. In one randomized study, a high-fiber diet caused gut microbes to boost their carbohydrate-digesting enzymes, meaning the microbes were becoming more efficient at breaking down plant foods. Over time, consistently feeding them fiber can shift the entire community to a healthier balance. In the short term, a sudden spike in fiber might cause gas. That's why it's best to increase fiber gradually. If fiber is food for your gut bugs, fermented foods are a way of delivering live bugs, probiotics, and their goodies straight to your system. These foods are made by beneficial bacteria and yeasts, fermenting ingredients like milk or vegetables. The end result: not only do you get a tangy, tasty food, but you also get live cultures that can colonize your gut temporarily and produce helpful compounds. Yogurt with live cultures. A classic gut-friendly food. Plain yogurt contains lactobacillus and streptococcus cultures that survive digestion. Research shows that yogurt consumption is associated with multiple health benefits beyond nutrition alone. A systematic review concluded that yogurt and fermented milk products provide favorable health outcomes beyond the milk from which these products are made. Yogurt eaters tend to have better nutrient intake and lower blood pressure and cholesterol levels. Importantly, probiotics in yogurt can stimulate immune cells and help guard against infections. Just choose plain yogurt without added sugars for the biggest benefit. Kefir. This drinkable fermented milk, or water, is brimming with dozens of probiotic strains. The diversity of microbes in kefir can help replenish your gut and may improve digestion. Studies link kefir to better lactose breakdown, so milk is easier to digest, improved gut symptoms, and subtle immune boosts. It's like a probiotic smoothie in a bottle. Sauerkraut and kimchi. These fermented cabbage dishes are packed with lactic acid bacteria. A new UC Davis study found that sauerkraut, fermented cabbage, helped protect intestinal cells from inflammation-related damage, whereas raw cabbage did not. In lab tests, researchers saw that fermentation enriches cabbage with lactic acid, amino acids, and other compounds that preserve gut barrier cells. In other words, something magical happens during fermentation that turns ordinary cabbage into gut armor. Excitingly, homemade and store-bought sauerkraut were equally effective. Dr. Maria Marco, who led the study, notes, "Even if we have just a regular serving of sauerkraut, putting these things more into our diet can help us in the long run against inflammation, for example, and make our digestive tract more resilient." Kombucha and fermented drinks. Kombucha tea is fermented with a symbiotic culture, SCOBY, of yeast and bacteria. It contains live acids and yeasts that may support gut health. While research is still catching up, many people find kombucha helpful for digestion. Another example is kvass, fermented rye drink, or fermented vegetable juice drinks. Just watch added sugars. Sourdough bread and pickles. Naturally fermented sourdough bread and lacto-fermented pickles with live brine can also introduce probiotics. The levels are lower than yogurt, kefir, but every bit helps. A large Stanford study made headlines. Volunteers put on a 10-week fermented food diet, daily yogurt, kefir, fermented cottage cheese, kimchi, kombucha, etc., saw significant increases in gut microbe diversity. Higher diversity often means a healthier gut. Those same folks had decreases in 19 inflammatory blood proteins, including IL-6, linked to arthritis, diabetes, stress. One of the lead researchers called it a stunning finding that a simple dietary change could rewire the microbiome and lower inflammation across the whole group. That's powerful evidence that fermented foods, even a few servings a day, can boost immunity and wellness. Tip: if you're new to fermented foods, start small. Try adding just a tablespoon or two of sauerkraut or kimchi as a side, or a 1-2 cup of yogurt with a meal. Your gut will acclimate quickly. Drinking water and eating fiber along with it can help ease any initial digestion surprises. Probiotic supplements. These capsules also deliver good bacteria, often lactobacillus and bifidobacterium strains. They can help restore balance after antibiotics or gut upset. Look for multi-strain, high CFU formulas. That said, real foods, yogurt, kefir, fermented veggies, are an easy, delicious way to get similar benefits. Prebiotics. These are fibers that specifically feed probiotics. Many of our fiber foods, oats, onions, garlic, asparagus, contain prebiotics. Eating a variety of plants ensures your probiotic bugs get fed. You don't have to overhaul your diet overnight. In fact, nutrition experts suggest making small, doable changes. Here are some friendly, practical tips, especially helpful for those new to gut-healthy eating. Breakfast swap. Choose a fiber-rich start. Have oatmeal with berries instead of a sugary cereal or white toast. Stir in a spoonful of plain yogurt or kefir. The oats feed your microbes and the yogurt adds probiotics. Sprinkle cinnamon or nuts for extra taste and nutrients. Add legumes. Toss beans or lentils into soups, stews, salads, or even mashed into dips. For example, add kidney beans or black beans to chili and salads. Soak dry beans overnight and rinse well, or use low-sodium canned beans. Rinse them if you're short on time. They're easy to add and provide protein and fiber. Snack smart. Swap processed snacks for gut-friendly ones. Try carrot sticks or apple slices with hummus, or a small bowl of yogurt with honey and nuts. You could also snack on a handful of nuts and dried fruit. This adds fiber and probiotics between meals. Fermented sides include a bit of sauerkraut, kimchi, pickles, or plain yogurt with lunch or dinner. Even a tablespoon of kimchi on your sandwich or a few slices of dill pickles with dinner introduces beneficial microbes. Buying small jars of fermented veggies in the fridge section of the grocery store is easy. Make sure they're lacto-fermented, check labels. They should list live cultures and not be vinegar pickles. Whole grains. Switch refined grains to whole grains. Use brown rice, quinoa, or barley in place of white rice. Choose whole wheat or sprouted grain bread. These simple swaps boost fiber. Hydrate. Drink plenty of water. Fiber needs water to do its job. Good hydration also supports digestion. For older adults, this is doubly important for bowel regularity. Go slow. If you're not used to high fiber, increase gradually to avoid gas. For example, one day add an extra vegetable serving at dinner, next day add beans to lunch, and so on. Your microbiome will adapt. Check yogurt labels. Look for plain yogurt with live and active cultures. Beneficial strains to see on the label include Lactobacillus acidophilus, Streptococcus thermophilus, Bifidobacterium species, etc. Greek yogurt is higher in protein but sometimes lower in live cultures than regular yogurt. You can stir in berries or a little cinnamon to flavor plain yogurt. Golden rule for older folks. If you're over 60, aim for 25-30 grams of fiber per day or more, and a daily fermented dairy or probiotic. As we age, our gut lining thins and our digestion can slow. A serving of yogurt or kefir daily can help keep immunity strong. Also, if you find whole beans hard on your stomach at first, soak them well and introduce them slowly. Mindful eating. Chew slowly and enjoy your food. This actually helps your digestion start properly, making the gut's job easier. The key is addition, not deprivation. You don't have to cut out all treats. Instead, add one gut-friendly food at a time. For instance, if you love pasta, try whole wheat pasta and mix in a spoonful of plain yogurt as a sauce. If you love tacos, try adding a scoop of black beans and topping with cabbage slaw. Over days and weeks, these new habits stack up. Across the internet, people are buzzing about gut health hacks. On forums like Reddit's r/Nutrition, users often exclaim that fiber is your best friend, and fermented foods have worked wonders for them. For instance, one user shared, "I started making sauerkraut at home and I swear my stomach feels lighter and my immunity is up. Good bugs for the win," paraphrased. These real-world experiences mirror what science is finding. In the Stanford clinical trial mentioned above, participants on the fermented food diet had greater gut diversity and lower inflammatory markers than the high-fiber group. 4 types of immune cells were less active in the fermented food group, a good sign of lower chronic inflammation. In the Cell Journal study of fiber versus fermented interventions, researchers noted that the fiber group's microbiome boosted enzymes to break down complex carbs. Meanwhile, the fermented group lowered dozens of inflammatory proteins. The lead scientist said microbiota-targeted diets can change immune status, offering a promising way to fight inflammation in healthy adults. A recent Harvard study using mice illustrated the diet microbes' immunity loop very clearly. Mice fed a standard diet lacked certain gut immune cells, but when researchers added linoleic acid, a common plant fat, plus gut microbes, the mice built those immune cells. It demonstrated one of the clearest mechanisms of how diet and gut bugs build our immune system. Another Harvard report highlights that over 90% of our serotonin receptors are in the gut, linking diet directly to mood. They advise fixing the food first, meaning whole, fiber-rich foods, to improve how we feel. For example, swapping fruit for juice or adding fermented veggies can shift the gut towards a happier state. All these findings back up a simple message: eat real, unprocessed foods, and favor plants and fermentation. Foods extracted in factories, like ultra-processed snacks, often contain additives and lack the natural fibers and microbes we need, which can disrupt gut balance. By contrast, colorful fruits and veggies, whole grains, beans, and fermented items supply prebiotics and probiotics naturally. These anecdotal stories echo the research. Fiber and fermented foods can transform your gut and your life. Let's recap. Your gut is a central hub for health. Eating fiber-rich whole foods like oats, beans, vegetables, and fruits nourishes beneficial microbes that in turn support digestion, immunity, and energy. Adding fermented foods and probiotic yogurts introduces live bacteria and fermentation byproducts that further strengthen your gut barrier and tame inflammation. Leading studies confirm these foods work. Diets high in fermented foods have been shown to increase gut microbe diversity and lower inflammatory proteins. Even short-term, a high-fiber diet made gut microbes boost their fiber-digesting enzymes. Over months, combining fiber and fermented foods can shift your gut ecosystem to a healthier state. Takeaway: you don't need expensive supplements or extreme diets. You need to add simple, affordable foods that feed your gut. Start with one change this week, maybe oatmeal for breakfast or a couple of spoonfuls of sauerkraut with dinner. Notice how you feel over a few weeks. Many people report less bloating, fewer colds, better mood, and higher energy by making these tweaks. Your call to action: try it out. Pick one gut-boosting swap. Eat more beans, try a new yogurt, add kimchi, and see how your body responds. Share your experience with a friend or online community. You might inspire someone else. And if you have ongoing gut issues, talk to a healthcare provider about diet and gut health. Your gut is one of the best allies you have. Treat it well with cabbage, oats, beans, yogurt, and friends, and it will work wonders for your immunity, energy, and mood. Your body will thank you.